One of my least favorite buzzwords that is absolutely necessary for a creative is world building. I think that a lot of people use the word building assuming that they're creating something grand and they usually aren't. Not that world building has to be grand, but I feel like that's what people do. Of course, as a creative, you have to have a certain amount of delusion and belief in what you're doing that it's just like so much more than it usually is. And I have recently been embarking on my own sort of world building thing with the music collective that I do with my friends. Um, it's called The Worst Generation. For anyone who doesn't know, I've talked about it before. It's me and 6 of my friends. 5 of my friends, there's 6 of us total. And I've been thinking a lot about how I can present us as more than music and visuals. And so I have been worked on, and will continue to work on something called Worst Generation Radio, which is essentially a radio show that's kind of like GTA radio, um, where we have like commercials, we play music, we talk a little bit, and just give people an idea of the taste we have, of the music we like, of the things we want to be known to be adjacent to or next to, um, the types of things we find funny, the types of ideas we have outside of the music itself that we make. I have been working a little bit on, not a little bit, a lot on another thing called Worst Generation TV, which is essentially like a video curation where we show some of our favorite music videos, some of our favorite skate videos, fashion runway shows, fashion films, short films, video game clips, anime clips, whatever it might be, kind of along the same lines of like, what are we outside of the music? I think when you think about world building, a lot of it is really the idea of what are you outside of the product that you're offering. And so I've been thinking a lot about how to present that. I think one of the most important things when it comes to world building is just lots of micro experiences, lots of just small things that you can sort of take single bites of. And as you take more and more single bites of things, you really start to understand what that person's all about. It's kind of like hanging out with somebody over time to figure out their tastes. Kind of like, going on dates to figure out if you like someone or whatever it might be. And so I've been having fun with that. I think curation is fun for me. And so picking things out that I'm interested in, that you guys might be interested in, or that I'm interested in that relates to the other things I'm doing is really interesting. I think for anyone out there world building, you should really just think about how many different bite-sized experiences you can create for the people out there looking at you. I think the more that they can figure out what you're all about, and what your style is, what your taste is, what you want to be adjacent to, who you're for, etc., it can really create a scene or community around the thing you do or the thing you make. I feel like it's a lost art because we're just chasing virality and kind of doing trends, and it's fine to not do trends. It's really fine to not do trends. I guess that's it. Catch you guys next week.